Hello everybody, it's Numerologist Michelle Buchanan with your Numerology Forecast for March 2022. I hope you're doing okay out there. The world is certainly going through a very, very significant time. There are major shifts happening and they will continue to happen, and they've been happening for a while now. It's just that now the ball is really starting to roll. This is a very significant year, 2022. Now look at the presence of all of those number twos. 2022. 0 amplifies the energy of the number preceding it. So we have a 2, a 0 that amplifies the 2, followed by 2 number twos. This year is so significant. It's such a turning point in this historical, life-changing time for everybody on the planet. We have to look at what number 2 represents. Number 2 represents peace, harmony, healing. Now, in order for us to get to that space, there needs to be upheaval. It's almost as if in the year of 2022, we need to realize that number 2 represents two sides of the coin, two sides of the story. To understand that this year especially, and all the years that have number 2 in the date, but more so this year because it simply is only twos and a presence of a 0, is that 2 is saying you need to train yourself to be able to see both sides of a story. Because what is playing out in the world today, it always has, but mostly you're really able to see it. It's very obvious and very evident this year in particular, that we're only being given one side of a story. And there are two sides to understand the truth of what's going on. So this year, we're being encouraged to be more understanding of other ways of looking at things, to be more understanding of other people and their opinions, to be open to having the belief that I might not know, or we may not know, all of the information that we need to know to make an accurate decision, because we're not given all of the information. We're only being fed what we are wanted to know, what we're being conditioned to know and believe, so that we feel and believe and act a certain way. But this is a year of duality, and that's the cool thing about number 2. Number 2, the two sides of the coin, number 2 is the number of duality. So it's going to be very obvious to us this year that we're going to see a lot of contradiction, a lot of duality. We're seeing a lot of themes that are really rising to the surface to be looked at, where things are brewing beneath the surface, coming to a head now. For example, we're seeing the common theme of unity, where we're all together as a team, let's work together to get through a situation, versus division. We're looking at it's us and them. You're not one of us, you're not good enough, you're bad, I'm good. So the issues of unity and division. Unity is what enables us to reach a higher level, a higher frequency. Together we can raise the collective vibration of the whole planet and overcome so many issues that we're faced with so much quicker and more efficiently as a team. But we're wasting time being divided, and this doesn't serve us. But it exists so that we can see that within ourselves. We can see the contradictions within ourselves. We want so much to be included. We want so much to be understood. We want so much to belong. Yet we are faced with decisions and actions that we ourselves may take, where we are judging other people, creating division within our own judgments. You know, we also see in the issues of duality, truth versus deceit. You know, is this true? What's true? How do I even know what's true? So we're going to see this year a lot of truths will come to the surface, and then, you know, some people are aware of what is going on. Other people are aware of what's going on in their own mind. Everyone sees the world through different eyes, and nobody is right or wrong. We just see what we see based on who we are and how we perceive life. But there are certain informations and truths for the mainstream public that are not being shown, and that is going to come to the surface this year. As we move through this year, those truths will start to be exposed, and then you will start to see, a lot of people will start to see the other side of the stories of what's going on. So I ask, as you go through this year, be open-minded. Don't jump to conclusions, even though you're being fed one narrative. Always be open-minded as to, I wonder what the other side of the story could be that I'm not being shown. That's why number 2 also, it represents our intuition. So number 2 is the number of the divine feminine. It's the number of the high priestess energy. It's that number 2 of that inner knowing, where instead of believing and perceiving ourselves in life through one lens that is based on what we're being shown outside of ourselves, it's a matter of going within to really block out all the outside interferences, other people's opinions, what we see in the news, what everybody else is doing, and really spend quiet time alone, going into our soul, going into our inner knowing, going into that inner gut instinct that we have that really does know what's right for us and what's true and what's right and what's good for us, what's our truth and what's not. And it's very hard to hear and know that inner truth when you are distracted all the time, when you're distracted with life, when you're caught up in fear, when you're caught up in believing one narrative, and then you decide to base everything based on that one perception. You block your intuition off because you're being programmed or conditioned to believe a certain way, and it's not coming from within, it's coming from outside of you. And it may not necessarily be your true truth. And so this year is asking you to be aware of these themes, to be aware of the both sides, to be aware that there's information that hasn't been presented yet that's coming. And boy, is it coming. And the more open-minded you are, the more flexible and adaptable you are, the less shocking it's going to be when certain truths are exposed. And our job is to figure out a way that we can get through life, especially these days where there's all these kinds of crazy things going on around the world. And it's so easy to be caught up in fear. It's so easy to be caught up in that us and them, that division. It's so easy to be caught up in sort of going along with what everybody around you is doing so that you don't feel left out, or that you don't, feel bad about yourself because you don't feel the same way. So you just cover that up and just go along with things, but in your heart it's not right. Also what's going on for the 2022 and the number 2 is, the duality. We are moving into new paradigms. We're moving into new systems, new ways of running the world, new ways of running our lives, new ways of communities to come together, in order for us to go to this higher way of living, this higher vibration, a much more evolved way of living and being, that we're being encouraged to do, and that the planet's doing that with or without us, so you might as well be on board, is in order for us to get to this new way of living, being, and thinking that's more from a peaceful, harmonious, inclusive, unified, loving, honest, and truthful vibration in existence, we have to break down the old systems. And that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing old systems breaking down, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, because we are used to the way that our lives have always been. And we never thought we'd ever see systems breaking down, but they are. And our job is to have faith that we can get through these changes, and we can absolutely end up on top. And we'll get through them more quickly and easily the more adaptable we are, the more open-minded we are, and the more optimistic we are, knowing that we aren't given anything that we can't handle, but we can get together as a team. We can get through things together as a team. And if you look at number 2, 2022, it adds up to number 6. And number 6 is the number of community. It is the number of finding your tribe, finding those of like mind. It's the number of group dynamics. It's the number of family. It's the number of being of service and asking, how can I help you? What can I do for you? How can I assist the we, rather than how can I only, assist the me? It's moving away from the me, and individuality into the sort of the unity of the community. And it's about being there for other people, and it's about contributing to the whole. And, these themes are coming up as well. Now, this year, just remember, Move into your inner guidance. Spend quiet time alone if you can. Get away from devices. Get away from the news. Get away from people. Get in nature. Get around animals. Spend some quiet time. Take up meditation if you don't already. Contemplating things. Reading some positive, uplifting material. Maybe doing a personal development online program. Maybe taking up yoga, a healthier way of living. Taking care of yourself, maybe exercising a bit more, being aware of mindfulness, breath work, all these kinds of things that can help you to feel stronger within yourself, that can get you in touch with your own inner source, your own spiritual connection to all that is, that you may be disconnected from in the physical world, that you may be disconnected from when you put all your time and attention into the material side of life, or just being busy, or always doing something that you're avoiding being alone. This year is also asking us to get ourselves in balance. Number 2 is the number that will first of all highlight where we are out of balance. So don't be surprised if you see these things occurring in your life where things are all over the show. It's life in your own inner know, your own soul, presenting to you in your physical life where you're out of balance, what you need to work on, what you need to do to get yourself back into harmony, back into alignment. So first of all, it will amplify what's out of balance. So don't be surprised if that happens. In fact, embrace that. So thanks for showing me what I'm doing wrong. Thanks for showing me what's not flowing, what's not right, where I'm out, where I'm disharmonious. Now I need to know I've got a starting point of an action plan and what the steps that I need to take to get myself back into harmony, back into balance, back into alignment. So let these issues come to the surface. You're going to feel more emotional this year. For reasons, just because number 2 is the number of emotion. The number 2 is about provoking an emotional reaction in you. So whether you get that provoked emotional reaction out of fear of what's going on, whether you get that provoked emotional reaction out of empathy and sympathy for what you see is going on in other parts of the world, whether you get that amplified emotional sensitivity from the things that are happening in your own life around you with family members, friends, within your own self, just be aware that there's a lot going on, and we are asked to step up to the plate and be a bit more in control of who we are and what we allow ourselves to believe, and whether we allow ourselves to go into the depths of fear and stress and anxiety, or whether we have confidence and faith that all will work out and we'll be okay. Yes, we've got a hard road ahead, but we can get through. And the key to getting through is your spiritual connection. It's your connection and your relationship with source energy, as well as your relationship and your connection to yourself. So this is a time where you are being called to do the work on yourself. Whatever you need to work on that's out of whack within your personality, put some effort into tweaking that up, to improving yourself, to being a better person, to facing your issues head on instead of sweeping them under the carpet and hoping they'll go away. This is also a time where we will be more connected to people through mutual understanding. It's about being more cooperative, more understanding and more empathetic towards others and yourself, okay? Now also it's about understanding, that even if you don't agree with other people's actions, taking the time to look at the world through their eyes. Why would they be behaving that way? Why would people be protesting for their freedom? And why would people be angry with people protesting for their freedom? It's about being able to see the world through others' eyes and not just your own, because that is the key to us improving ourselves and our lives and our community and our countries and the world as a whole moving forward. And it's almost like it's got to get worse to get better. So we can see the worst of ourselves. We can see the worst of humanity. We can see the worst of the community when it's at its worst. So we know what we don't want to experience again. So we can, if it's us personally, we can feel ashamed at our actions and our thoughts and the way we've treated good people that may simply feel differently or act differently from us. We can almost, and that's what's happening on the world stage as well, guys. As these truths are coming to the surface, we're going to see, as truths will be exposed moving through this year and next year, the worst of humanity, the worst of people in positions of power, manipulating others. There's all these things that are going to come out, but It has to come out so that we can see the truth. We know what we don't want, and we can move forward with new ways of living and being in a more truthful, more inclusive, harmonious, balanced way of living. And so it's a good thing. It's hard, but it's good. And this is what is going on. Now, the 6th year, the 222, is for the vibration for the whole year, and that's called the universal year of 222, and it adds up to 6. That's the universal year number. And the month of March is a universal 9. So March is a number 3. We add that 3 for March to the number of the year. The year is 6, and that's how we get a 9 universal month number. The 9 is where international issues will be really amplified, because the 9 does represent the world and different countries and cultures and different ways of living and people all over the actual planet. So universal themes are at an all-time high. Also, the 9 is designed to amplify our feelings of humanitarianism, where we should be feeling a bit more empathetic. We should be feeling a bit more like wanting to contribute in some way. Our hearts should be opening up out of compassion for what we feel for other people and what they are going through. More of a sense of community, more of a sense of coming together, more of a sense of wanting to be connected. Now, the 9 also represents out with the old to make way for the new. So there'll be a lot of things going on in individual lives as well as the international world stage, where it's breaking down old ways, old systems, out with the old to make way for the new. And it is paving a way for new beginnings and new opportunities, new ways of living, new ways of thinking, new ways of being. Now, for you personally, take a look at your own life. What have you grown out of? What do you need to leave behind? What are you holding on to that's really doing nothing but cause you misery and stress? And that misery and stress could be something from the past, just reenacting and playing over and over situations or experiences you've had that really upset you, that really hold you stuck, that you can't forgive, that you can't move forward from. Take a look at those things and look at resolving them, just so you can get peace, you can heal, and you can move forward. So I'll leave that with you. That's what the energy is for 222. It's there all year. And then I'm going to let you know that I'm going to give you the formula now on how you can calculate your own personal year number. And so to calculate your own personal year number, because you have a personal year number that's unique to you, that you have a forecast for, that aligns and goes in harmony with the universal year forecast that I just gave you for 2022 in the month of March. So you want to take on board what I've said for the universal forecast of the year, as well as the universal forecast for the month of March. And then you want to blend that forecast with your own individual personal year number forecast. So let me give you the formula now to calculate your personal year number. We do this by adding the day and month of your birth date to number 6. Number 6, because the year 2022 adds up to number 6. So that's why we add your birth date, your day and month of your birthday to number 6 to get your personal year number. So let me give you the example of the birth date, the 28th of March. We would go 2 plus 8 plus 3 plus 6. All right? 2 plus 8 plus 3 plus 6. 2 plus 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That equals 19. Now, the second rule of thumb is when you end up with a double number, a double-digit number, add those two numbers together and keep doing that until you eventually get a single number between 1 and 9, and that's your personal year number for the year. So in our example for the 28th of March, that added up to 19. Rule number 2, add double numbers together until you get a single number. 1 plus 9 is 10. Now 10 is, I still need to get that single number, so I've got to do it one more time. So then I go 1 plus 0 is 1. And that 1 is your personal year number for the year in our example. So let me use another example. Let's use the example for someone that's born on the 15th of December. All right, so we're going to add the day and month of your birth date to number 6. The example for 15th of December. 1 plus 5 is 6. 1 plus 2 is 3. And we add that to 6. 6 plus 3 plus 6 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 6 and 6, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right, we got the total 15. Then we add double numbers together to get a single number. 1 plus 5 equals 6. So that example is a 6 personal year number. All right, one last time, add the day and month of your birth date to number 6. Keep adding together any double-digit numbers until you eventually get a single number between 1 and 9, and that's your personal year number for the whole year. All right, so let's begin now with personal year number 1. All right, you guys are in a 1 year, and that 1 year is all about a new beginning. It's a whole new 9-year cycle for you this year, especially from your birthday onwards. So, take a look at your life, do an inventory. What do I want to start? What do I need to start? What am I not starting? What is holding me back? What am I procrastinating? What do I need to set up in my life? For some people, it can be something quite big, like you need to change career. You need to move into a new home. You need to get out there and make some new friends. You need to start a new program, a new training or learning program. Everyone's life is different. And some people, they're quite big themes. Other people, they might not be so much. It might be everything in your life is the same jobs, the same friends, the same hobbies, but it might be an attitude change. It might be a new beginning that's needed that's more on the inner, and so whatever, always be looking at that. You've got a green light ahead. The world is on your side in terms of taking action to get the ball rolling and to get out there and be in the driver's seat of your life. For the month of March, you're in a month of 4 personal month number to go with your 1 personal year for March. And that is about doing the work. So March is asking you to get off your butt, get out there, get your head down, your bum up, and do the work. Do whatever needs to be done to get yourself and your life where you need it to be, where it needs to be. Do the work. Take action. Persevere. Be disciplined, be focused, be dedicated, be committed. Don't give up. Keep going. Slow and steady wins the race. There'll be delays, there'll be obstacles, but you are to be persistent. You are to persevere through adversity. You've got this. There is much required from you this month, and it does require effort, but the results will be there if you put in the effort. So that is what you need to be aware of this month. And I'll leave that with you. Personal year number 2. You guys are in a year where, it's a 2, and we are in the year of 222, 2022. So there's a lot of 2 energy around you. And that means that you are being called to take a look at your emotional well-being. To get yourself in alignment and in balance emotionally. So emotional balance. So first of all, what may happen is you may be triggered. You may be triggered at emotional issues you have, or an emotional reactions that you have to situations around you. I'll use the example of someone that might be quite afraid and quite fearful for the future, that might get triggered this year, or especially in this month, and you are faced with the choice of either giving into the fear and being an anxious mess that feels powerless and hopeless. And that's really not going to serve you, because we attract what we think and feel, and what we're projecting out, we attract more of. So you don't want to attract any more of that nonsense. Or that trigger will cause you to really make a massive change, a life-changing decision where you say, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to feel powerless. I'm not going to be disempowered. I believe that no matter what is going on around me, I can get through it, and I can come out the other end better than I am today. I can make things work. Yes, it might be hard, but I have the ability to do it. There is opportunity all around me. I just have to train myself to see it, train myself to notice it. That's an example. You will be asked to do the work that needs to be done to get yourself in balance. All right. So whatever's out of balance, will it be amplified so that you can recalibrate yourself and take steps that are necessary to get yourself more in harmony, more grounded, more stabilized, emotionally stabilized, mentally stabilized, physically stabilized. Whatever issues that have been brewing beneath the surface with others will definitely rise to be addressed and resolved, or give you the opportunity to resolve them, but they'll definitely come to the surface to be addressed this year, the whole of this year. Relationship issues. So, have those conversations, get things off your chest. face the losses if you have any, and know that you'll be okay. For the month of March, it's a month of change. Anything can happen, and it usually does. This is a month where you need to be adaptable. You need to be open-minded. You need to go with the flow of whatever comes your way. For some people, there can be unexpected events, things you didn't see coming, and they can be really exciting and charismatic and dynamic. For other people, it can be things you didn't see coming and they were, a bit scary. They can be things that you didn't see coming and they can destabilize you. But you need to recalibrate and stabilize yourself within that experience, and you will be okay. It's whatever, if you've got changes that you need to make in your life, whatever needs to be changed, this is the time to do it. Life is giving you that opportunity to make those changes. So take it. Don't let change force itself upon you because there are changes that need to be made, but you're not taking them because you're staying stuck where it's safe, and therefore, they come and you've got no choice. Be in the driver's seat, be in control, and you make those changes deliberately and consciously. This is also a month to have some fun, have a bit of adventure, do things you wouldn't normally do. Do some new things, try new things, have some new experiences, have a bit more fun and excitement in your life, be a bit more daring. I'll leave that with you, and I'll move on now to personal year number 3. So you guys are in a year where you're really being encouraged to speak your truth and to communicate what you're really thinking and feeling, and to take your time to establish and to get clear about what you're really thinking and feeling, about where you want to be in life, or what changes need to be made, or how you're feeling about certain things, or if there's conversations or things that need to be ironed out with other people. It is a year of self-expression. It is a year where you put yourself out there. It is a year where you meet new people. It's a year where you network, where you communicate your needs, where you communicate who you are and what you want to say. It's a year that communication and self-expression may not be directly. It can be done through anything. Blogging, it can be done through writing in a journal. It can be done by expressing yourself through creative expression. It can be expressing yourself through exercise. It can be expressing yourself through communication and joining groups. It comes in many different shapes and forms. But one thing to know for this whole year is if there are conversations that need to be had to iron things out with people, you need to have those conversations. No one knows what's around the corner. No one knows how long anyone has got to be here. Don't wait because your pride gets in the way. Just man up, stand up, and just go, I'm going to be the bigger person here. I'm going to apologize, or I'm going to sort this mess out, and take action to clear things, especially this month of March, because you are in a 6 personal month in March. And that 6 is about relationships, about issues with others, and whatever issues have been brewing beneath the surface may rise to be resolved this month, or come to a head. It's a time to be there for family, friends, loved ones. It's a time to spend more time with your children. It's a time to work on your relationships. It's a time to be in the mindset of, how can I help? What can I do? Rather than I need to give me, I want, give to me, get for me. It's more about the we rather than the me, and being there to be that shoulder to cry on if it's called upon. It's also a time to have those awkward conversations with people and relationships and family or partners, that where there's something needs to be said, you've got to say it, and that's the time to do it. So I'll leave that with you, and I'll move on now to personal year number 4. You guys are in a year where it's slow and steady wins the race, and you are building things up over time, slowly this year. But it is a year where action has been asked from you to ask yourself, first of all, at the beginning of the year, or now, where am I going? What do I want, and how do I get there, and what do I need to do to get there? What steps do I need to take? Or what do I need to do to improve something? Now, that improvement may be a renovation on the home. That improvement might be something at your work that you need to do. You might need to learn something new. You might need to upskill. Something that it might be, how can I improve a relationship? What do I need to do to improve my marriage? What do I need to do to be a better parent? It might be improving your health. What do I need to do to improve, to be healthier and fitter? I need to improve my diet. I need to take up an exercise program. What do I need to do to improve my mental health? I need to be more positive. I need to be more courageous instead of being afraid and negative and judgmental. Everyone's different, but the 4 year is saying, do the work. Take a look at what needs improving and do it. Build upon it. Build something that will last the test of time over time this year. There may be delays and obstacles, but be patient, persevere, and you will get there in the end. Now, this month of March is a 7 personal month for you, and that is a month where you really do need to spend some time alone. All right, you need to make time to be alone with your thoughts, to be alone with your own self, being in nature, going on walks, not being so distracted by devices or other people or activities and being busy. Be in the now, be in the present moment. Take time to appreciate what's around you. Disconnect from all the busyness of everything in the material world and go into your heart, go into nature, animals, water, swimming, being meditation, breath work, anything that connects you to your inner self is really important. Also, if there's any mind, body, spirit books you want to read, any workshops, any websites you want to look at, any online courses, anything like that, it's really good for your personal development and your spiritual development. It's a good month if you want to learn something new. So if there's something you want to study, it's a good month to do that as well. But definitely finding your spiritual truth, expanding on your spiritual relationship, or even simply creating a relationship with something. Find something to have faith in. Find something to believe in. Find your spiritual connection from something. If you haven't got that already, it's very important. So I'll leave that with you, and I'll move on now to personal year number 5. So personal year number 5 is a year of change, and that is a year where it's very important because, you're halfway in the middle of a 9-year cycle. And that 9-year cycle starts at the 1 year, it ends at the 9 year. And when you're in the 5 year, the 5 year is right smack bang in the middle. So the 5 year is, hey, it's not a new beginning and it's not an ending, but it's certainly a time to change the playing field. So let's shake things up and move things around. So it can be a year where your life might change and you don't see it coming. So that can be really dynamic and exciting because it leaves space for an opportunity to come that you didn't see coming, that can be really exciting, really stimulating, and really adventurous. So I want you to start believing that energy is around you in this 5 year, that, hey, there's space in my life. I want you to create the belief and the affirmation that there is space in my life this year for something new and exciting, or even a series or various new and exciting experiences, not just one. And be believing in that and attracting that into you, that it's exciting, it's new, it's something that just what you needed. For some people, it can be a solution to a problem. For others, it's a brand new opportunity that puts you on a different path. Some people can have changes coming that they didn't see coming, and they're challenging. I'm not going to lie, it can sometimes mean that too. But here's the deal. The more adaptable you are, the more open-minded you are, the more flexible you are, the easier you'll get through it. The more positive you are, that you can get through any situation that comes your way, the quicker and easier you will get through a challenge. But the first place, you have to be flexible and adaptable. Don't have your plans too set in stone, especially these days and times where there's all kinds of unusual events going on and it's pretty highly charged and anything could happen at any time and things could change at any time. So you need to be aware and go with the flow. Be flexible and adaptable. So should something happen or change, you're not caught up in holding on to, you're not caught up in the inability to move forward because you're still holding on to the past and what was. Because you just can't let it go, because you're in disbelief, you don't want anything to change, so you're resisting. It's that resistance that will simply hold you back and cause you misery. So you need to be flexible, you need to be light, and you need to be very open-minded, and you need to be positive. Now, for the month of March, you're in an 8 month, and that is where issues relating to money, business, career, legal issues. So I suggest that you don't overspend this month, that you budget and you watch your finances. I recommend that anyone that's looking to make changes or wants to make changes in their career, start taking steps to do that. There'll be some of you that have already taken steps, and there may be opportunities presenting themselves to you this month. There'll be other people that it's the opposite. They don't want to make changes, but the change is forced upon them with work or finances, So this is a really powerful time, though, because you're in an 8 personal month, to be aware that number 8 is a number of manifestation and the law of attraction, that we attract what we focus our attention on. And so you want to make sure that you focus the majority of your attention on what you would like to have in your life, what's good in your life, what's right, what's positive, and being grateful and being optimistic and knowing that opportunities come, knowing that solutions are out there, knowing that things don't stay hard forever. What comes up must come down. This too shall pass. But for the most part, you always land on your feet, and so getting to know the law of attraction like the back of your hand and being a creator in your life, not just reactive of what happens, being in the driver's seat and being proactive, taking control and being more positive about how you see yourself and how you see your life. So I'll leave that with you, and I'll move on now to personal year number 6. You guys are in a year that's always going to be in alignment with the universal year, always. So you just get a double dose of whatever that energy is. And we're in a 6 year this year. And the 6 is, as you've heard me say before, it's about being of service. It's about relationships, family, children, community, friendships, neighbors, work colleagues, others, people. They play a big role in your life this year, and it's about you being more connected to the whole rather than isolated and separated in your own little world about me, me, me. It's about having that mindset of how can I contribute? What can I do to be of assistance? Now understand this is a number of relationships, and so relationship issues that have been brewing beneath the surface will rise to be resolved. They will come to a head eventually at some stage during the year. So when that chance comes, jump on it, take advantage of it, iron things out. Now, you're in a personal month of 9 in March with this 6th year, and the 9 is out with the old to make way for the new. So there, for some of you, there'll be relationships that you will be walking away from. Some of you will be walking away because it's your choice and you are being proactive, and you are walking away because you know that's what you want to do and you need to do. Others, it might be the opposite. You might be having to walk away, but you don't necessarily want to, but it's just the way it is. And so, whatever, other people, it's not even about love relationships. It can be situations in your personal life to do with other things like career issues, or out with the old to make way for the new, endings, transformation. It might be changing the way that you see the world. It might be changing the way that you treat your body, and you're adopting a new health regime. It might be moving home. It might be finishing a period of study. Like, everyone's different, but the 9 is, the humanitarian and wanting to be more involved in things, or having more compassion and having that more of that humanitarian mindset. Other people, it can be the 9 is about transformation, endings, and out with the old to make way for the new, and in preparation for new beginnings. So I'll leave that with you, and I wish you the very best, and I'll move on now to personal year number 7. So you guys are in a year that's a very important year, the 7 year, because the 7 year is saying go within, find your spiritual self, invest in your personal development, go within and ask yourself the big questions in life. Who am I? Why am I here? What's the purpose of life? What's the meaning of life? And getting clear about what is real and what's not. Getting clear about what's important to you and what's not. It's a year to work on your health and well-being. It's a year to work on your mind, body, spirit. It's a good year to study and learn, but it's a really good year to adopt a spiritual practice, or if you already have a spiritual practice, to really amplify that and make that the center of your world. Because that's really the key to us getting through whatever is coming, and for us to be stable and aligned and in a high vibration, no matter what happens our way in life, is through our connection to source energy, is our strength. It's the wind beneath our wings. And this year has given you an opportunity to really solidify that, to build on that. And for the month of March, you're in a 7, 8, 9, 10, a one personal month of new beginnings, where there are new opportunities for you to do something new. New opportunities will present themselves. For some people, these will be really big opportunities. For other people, they might be something a bit smaller, a bit minor. For some people, it's a series of small things or a series of big things. Everyone's life circumstances are different. But this month is saying, move forward. What do you need to begin? What do you need to take action? It's about you being more proactive. It's about you being more self-motivated. But it's about you, first of all, clarifying and getting clear about what you want and need for your personal wellness, for your mind, body, spirit, for your physical life. And then taking the steps towards doing that, or setting things up so that you can start to take steps towards that. It's about being proactive, taking action, and being confident and courageous and brave. I'll leave that with you, and I'll move on now to personal year number 8. You guys are in a year where, there's a big responsibility for you this year in terms of really being in control of your thoughts and your perceptions and your beliefs, because the 8 is the number of manifestation based on the law of attraction, where you will attract into your life people, situations and circumstances, experiences, even things to do with your own physical health, based upon what you are projecting out, what you believe, what you think, what you say, what you feel. Everything that you think, say, feel and do and believe is energetic. It's an energy. It's magnetic. It attracts. You attract in circumstances into your life based on what you're putting out. So you really got to be responsible about what you're putting out. One of the first steps to improving all of that is to train yourself to be grateful and have gratitude for what you already have, and to have gratitude for what's right in your life and what's right in the world. Even if it's something as simple as, I'm so blessed to live in such a beautiful country. I'm so blessed to live in a country where that is not at war. I'm so blessed to have these amazing friends I have. I'm so blessed to have a beautiful dog that loves me and brings so much love into my life. I'm so blessed to look at this beautiful flower in front of me right now and how absolutely stunning it is, and lose yourself in that beauty. Humble yourself, take yourself down a few notches and train yourself to look at what's right and good in your world, no matter how big or small it is. Learn to appreciate the small things. Learn to be happy with less. The 8 year is also a year where you want to watch your finances. Don't overspend. For some, there will be opportunity to attract more abundance. And abundance isn't only financial. Abundance is opportunity. It's positivity. It's all sorts of things. And for some people, there's an opportunity to attract more of that. And for others, there's an opportunity to lose. It's what goes up must come down. It's a two-way thing, as above, so below. And just know that you really want to be in a really optimistic mindset when you're in an 8 cycle, and you're in an 8 cycle all year. So don't let your fear get the better of you, and really be on top of your game when it comes to monitoring and managing your thoughts and behaviors. You're in a month of 2, so your personal month for March is an 11-2 personal month. And that's where you're probably going to feel a bit more sensitive. Life is going to give you an opportunity to have some aha moments where the penny drops and you have a realization of something that's really going to help with your own personal development, with your own broadening your awareness so that you are more broad-minded, more understanding. You're able to see the bigger picture. Also where you want to reach out and be more connected to other people, deep and meaningful conversations, being able to see something from other people's point of view, being a bit more sensitive, a bit more caring, a bit more cooperative, a bit more helpful, a bit more empathetic, and also, if you want that from other people, you've got to be that yourself. How can you expect anyone else to be that way towards you if you can't be that way towards others? It's about you achieving emotional balance. So, things may happen that may trigger emotions in you, and it's a matter of going down the rabbit hole of those emotions and where they stem from, because, our emotions are stored within every cell of our being. And when we have an experience in our life, especially in childhood, emotional experiences, that energy is stored in every cell of our being and it stays there. And so therefore, in our life, when we have emotional experiences, we're feeling the emotion of that experience, but not only the emotion from that one isolated experience that's happening in the current moment, we're actually also experiencing the accumulated emotion that's been stored within every cell of our being, that's like just playing out like as a pattern. And so that's why sometimes we can overreact. That's why sometimes we can feel pain very deeply. And what the two does is the two amplifies emotions so that we can feel them more obviously. They become more obvious so we can recognize them and we can begin to work through them. When they're heightened and amplified, they're more obvious to us and we may pay more attention and therefore start working on where they come from and whether they are really real or not. Because a lot of the time we're playing out patterns and it's really the pattern, not the person, that our reaction comes from. And so it's very interesting when you're looking at psychology and the patterns of behavior and where they come from. So it's also a good combination of numbers for people that are looking for someone to get close to, whether it's a friendship getting closer, whether it's people want to meet someone and they do meet someone, or just being able to open and be a good shoulder to cry on for other people, being a good listener, a good counselor yourself. So I'll leave that with you and I wish you the very best, and I'll move on now to personal year number 9. Personal year number 9, you guys are in the last year of a 9-year cycle. Okay, so it is a year of endings and transformation, and where you are transforming from the person you are at the beginning of this year and the person you're going to be at the end of this year. You're really going to do a lot of growth. And you're not going to be the same this time next year as you are right now. And it's a journey and it's a work in progress. And this year is about you shedding your skin. It's about you leaving behind and growing out of what's really not necessary for you to carry it on with you after this year for the next 9-year cycle. It's almost like growing out of behaviors or beliefs, or some people will literally have major changes or grow out of a job or grow out of a relationship or grow out of a home or grow out of a career pattern or a period of study. Like it really can be for a lot of people at the end of a period of time, the end of a certain person you were, or a job you had, or a relationship you were in, or a friendship you were in. So just be aware as you go through this year that it's about shedding your skin and letting go of what you've grown out of, okay? So that you can transform into a higher frequency. You can expand and grow and develop, you know. The month of March is a 3 personal month for you, and that is where it's really important that you communicate effectively this month. It's a month where it's important for you that if there are conversations that need to be had to iron things out or to clarify how you're feeling or an idea that you have, you know, an example of what I'm trying to say might be some people might have relationship issues that need to be resolved and ironed out, and they can only be done through conversation. Other people, it might be, for example, you're really trying to get an idea across it in work, for example, in your job, but you have to communicate that for things to change. You can't just expect things to change without you doing or saying anything. So you have to express that. You have to take that creative action. You know, other people, it's literally spending more time having fun. So the 3 is the number of joy, and it's saying bring more joy and fun into your life. You know, we're living in such a serious time, so much fear, so much anxiety, so much division, so much judgment, so much heaviness around us a lot these days. We really could do with some uplifting, joyful, positive, glass half full ways of thinking and feeling and being. And that's what's asking you to be, it's what's encouraging you to do that, is to bring more joy into your life. Go out there, make your life more joyful, take action. So I'll leave that with you, and I wish you a wonderful month. I'm still doing my 2 for the price of 1 numerology reports, so if you want one, just go to my website. They're normally $25. You can get 2 for the price of 1, your entire numerology chart plus a 12 month by month forecast for the next 12 months. I'll leave that with you, and I wish you a wonderful month, and I'll talk to you again in April. Bye.